Hello all you lovely people of the internet. Welcome to yet another top 5 list. Because, let's be honest, who doesn't love a good ranking of absurdly overpowered nonsense? Today we're diving into my absolute favourite overpowered combos in Final Fantasy. And trust me, there are so many that I had to impose a strict one per game rule. Otherwise, Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VII would be flexing all over this list like they just unlocked all the limit breaks at once. So if I don't mention your favourite game breaking strategy, feel free to yell at me in the comments. Now let's get into it, shall we? So the first one I'd like to talk about is what I call the boss what boss combo. Final Fantasy VIII. A game where you can essentially break everything with a little creative thinking. Or just spamming summons, let's be real. While I could put the entire junction system on here and call it a day, let's talk about a specific combo that turns the game into kind of a joke. Aura, Meltdown, and Duel. Meltdown strips away enemy defenses entirely, making them about as sturdy as a wet paper bag. Aura grants the ability to access limit breaks without needing to be near death, which means Zell can just go full anime protagonist and unleash Duel, his limit break where rapid button presses allow for an absurd number of attacks. Put them together and you've got yourself a one-way ticket to steamrolling anything in the game. Omega weapon? More like Omega weeping. If you've never tried this, do yourself a favour and watch the health bars melt. It is utterly beautiful. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Cloud's never-ending Disco of Doom. So, Final Fantasy VII's materia system is basically a playground for chaos. And this combo is the ultimate example. So, load up Cloud with Omnislash, because why settle for one hit when you can have like 15? Equip Counter and Mime on every Link slot available. Use Omnislash once. And now sit back and enjoy the absurdity as Cloud just keeps counter-attacking with Omnislash every time he gets hit. Forever. Yeah, this setup takes some time to master. Literally, you need master counter and mime materia, but once you do, even Emerald and Ruby weapon won't know what hit them. Spoiler, it was a lot of sword swings. Even funnier, you don't even need Omnislash for this to be broken. Any limit break will do. So if you don't want to grind, just slap this on anyone with a good limit break and enjoy the carnage. The next combo I want to talk about is the one I like to call Oops, we broke the game. Oh, Final Fantasy VI, a game so good it had to be nerfed in later versions. But in its original form, absolute chaos. Simply cast Vanish on an enemy to make them intangible, then follow it up with X-Zone or Death, and watch them disappear into the void, never to return. So why does this work? Because Vanish makes enemies super vulnerable to magic, even spells they're supposed to be immune to. And yes, this even worked on bosses. Imagine going up against a big bad villain, only to casually yeet them out of existence with one spell. Square Enix eventually fixed this, but let's be honest, we all loved it while it lasted. Some later ports made it a little bit harder to execute, but people still found workarounds. So if you ever want to make Final Fantasy VI hilariously easy, this is the way to go. Alright, number 4. The ultimate Catch These Swords combo. So, Edge's throw-ability in Final Fantasy IV is already pretty broken. But what if I told you we could make it even better? Enter the Excalibur duplication glitch. Normally throw uses up the weapon or item you chuck, but if you duplicate Excalibur, a weapon twice as powerful as the best throw item, you now have infinite game-breaking, enemy-annihilating destruction. This combo is exclusive to the SNES and PS1 versions, because later ports got wise to our nonsense. But if you're playing on one of those, enjoy obliterating everything in sight. Even bosses crumble under a barrage of holy infused devastation. Okay, I've kind of got to throw in a few honorable mentions because I couldn't resist. Okay, Final Fantasy VII, Final Attack and Phoenix. Think you've been defeated? No. Get auto-revived and rain fire on your enemies in revenge. Works beautifully against super bosses. Final Fantasy I, Quick plus Monk or Master. Quick makes you attack more times, and Monk's unarmed damage is already absurd. Multiply absurdity by more absurdity, you win the game. Final Fantasy X, Riku's Mix Overdrive. Who gave this girl access to nuclear warfare? Items that normally do next to nothing suddenly become game-breaking. Also, shout out to Final Fantasy V Mix for being equally as broken. Okay, the last combo I want to talk about is the Catnip and Trigger Happy combo from Final Fantasy X-2, also known as the How Fast Can You Press the Button combo. I'm not gonna lie, I almost forgot about this one, and then I remembered how it saved me in Via Infinito. So let me set the scene. Catnip is an accessory that makes all attacks deal max damage when you're in critical HP. Trigger Happy, which is on the Gunner Dress Sphere, Yuna's default dress sphere, is an ability that lets you spam bullets like an over-caffeinated action hero. Combine them and suddenly Yuna and friends become bullet-spewing Terminators that wipe out bosses in seconds. Sure, you're technically in danger, but if you kill everything before they even touch you, does it even matter? In the original PS2 version, this was so broken that Square had to nerf it in later releases. But if you played the OG version, you know just how fun it was to click, 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 click your way right through the hardest fights. So, there you have it. 5, well, technically 9, but shh, absurdly broken combos that make Final Fantasy games bend to your will. Did I miss your favourite? Do you have a combo that made you feel like an unstoppable deity? Drop it in the comments and let's all revel in our shared love for completely ruining game balance. Until next time, happy gaming everyone, and I'll see you soon.